Alright guys, so another little win today. Just started looking into how to do cloth and I haven't looked at any tutorials or found any tutorials on it, so if you come across any better than mine, crack on. But yeah, it just kind of made sense to me really, of how to do it. So let's have a little look at it. Actually, I'm going to use a plane. Let's scale that up. Put some more divisions in that. Let's just go like 20 for now. I'm going to create a sphere. Drop this down here. I'm really happy about this. It's another win. And it's all starting to kind of make sense, really. So I'm going to stick a floor in as well. Drop that down around about there. Alright, cool. We've got our main players. Let's just bring that up here a bit more. Alright, so cool. New graph. Let's go. We've got our top plane, collider, output gone. Okay, so kind of occurred to me. Well, let's just go through it for a minute. So I just typed in cloth this morning. So we've got npm cloth, right? And the mesh goes into that. Yeah, all good, fine. And then I was like, well, how? Like, I just stick it into the output and nothing happens. Actually, let me just hide this because I'm not going to want to see the original. And nothing happens. But obviously, it's a simulation. So if we create let's create like particles. So a basic particles graph, and we explode that, we can see what it's made up of. We've got a solver, and we've got the simulate settings, yeah? And then we've got the particle. So in our instance, we're going to have a cloth, then we're going to have the simulate and the solver. So I was like, right, let's try that. And by God, it worked. So we want npm solver settings, and then we want do we want simulate npm? Alright, so sources, cloth source into sources, and then we've got settings into settings, and there's our little solver group. That is all we need. That is all I had to figure out. But again, when you've got no real direction, it's not easy. So cloth mesh, let's just stick that into the output. So as you can see here, we've got granular particles, volume, cloth mesh, and fibers. Fibers, I'm going to attack you next. So we'll let that compile. It's doing this thing. There we go, it's compiled. So if I now, let's just have a bit of aliasing and maybe a bit of flim flam, and let's play. Of course, nothing happened apart from the plane falling because we didn't set up any colliders. So let's create some colliders. 2 of those, please. Right, one here, and then we'll have you down in here and you up in here as well. Let's just tidy up a bit. I'll let think about it. Again, I should have undone my output when I changed all of this. Alright, so let's have another go. Play. It comes our mesh. Hits our surface. Now we can't see it very well at the moment, so what should I do here? Let's just have a bit of wireframe unshaded. There we go, play. That's really fast. I mean, I'd expect it to be anyway because it's quite a low mesh, but it's some really nice movement going on in there. That is excellent. What's interesting though is I'm still trying to get my head around how you can't select it because it kind of doesn't exist. Bit weird, but there you go. Now, I do wonder if I was to have put a shader on this plane initially, whether that would have picked up the colour. I mean, I doubt it's going to work, but let's just try assigning an Arnold standard surface to it. And just change some of the colour. Let's just stick in like a red. But no. And I do wonder if that had worked if I'd have done it before the simulation. We can, of course, try that. So if we delete this plane, bring that plane back in again, and then stick that into the geometry. But I've got a feeling you're going to need some extra UV coordinates in this node graph, but I could be wrong. So let's just switch that off again, and plug in the cloth mesh. Let that compile. Ah, it does work. All right. Just keeps on coming. There we go. Very nice. Very nice. And it looks like it's handling. It looks like it can handle a hell of a lot more in terms of. I'm still moving around here in like almost-ish real time. Looks like it can handle a hell of a lot more divisions, which is good. Kind of wonder how that works. If we can select our original surface, unplug this original surface, polyplane. Let's just give it like 60 divisions. Switch that off, and should we just like redo that? See if that works. Plug this back in. Yes. Yes, it updates. That's excellent. Okay, brilliant. And that is still lightning fast. Oh man, this is crazy. This is great. So let's just do something even wilder. Hang on, let's just see where that simulation starts happening. Let's get to about, let it settle a little bit. Let's settle a bit. I'm going to say like frame 80. Let's undo this. So frame 80. Let's set a key on that sphere. Let's give ourselves a few more do what's, and let's just, I don't know, let's just like animate this around a bit. It's probably going to throw itself off, but let's see. So let's just drag the cloth mesh back in, let it recompile, which it has done rather quickly, and let's play that and see what happens when we start animating the collider around. Excuse me. I'm loving this. Do you know what? It's almost better to not know and to figure it out yourself. Okay. I'm guessing we're going to need like more iterations. I mean, it's like offset. It's still holding on. And it's still retaining the shape, which is kind of odd. But I'm guessing like all of this is going to be in the settings. Wow, that's amazing. Let that settle. Yeah, I think it's gonna be to do with the maximum amount of iterations that we've got. Interpenetration issues and all that can be sorted out in there as well, I imagine. But that's really nice. Very, very cool. Very cool. So something else that's really nice is, let's just undo this for a second. We'll have a look at the actual cloth attributes. So we've got like mass, density, viscosity, which is interesting, area preservation, which is to retain its usual shape. So if you're used to using end mesh, end cloth and all that, you know that's going to be like the input attract equivalent. Vibration speed, if you're never sure about what's what, just go into info, vibration speed. I think it's got something to do with its shape as well. Speed at which vibrations travel the cloth in meters per second. The value should be positive. Larger values give stiffer results. So we could make it stiffer by increasing that vibration speed. This is the speed of sound in the cloth. This is the natural speed of pressure waves. That's crazy. Inherent velocity, initial direction, initial speed, thickness. Alright, cool. So we could, that's interesting. Thickness. Alright, let's just do something like, let's stick 100 in there. Rewind, and let's just resim and see what that does. Cloth mesh. Might take a little second more to think about this one, because we've changed so many attributes. There we go, not too shabby. So let's play that. Let's see if that thickness has done much for us. Not a whole lot actually. Maybe you need to stick in some huge numbers in there. But maybe it's like subtle as well, you know. Alright. Let's just go back in. Stick that up a bit more. So thickness. Let's just stick like number 2 in there. Recompile. And then play. It could be something to do with the fact that I'm just using a plane. I don't see much sort of change there really. I guess I'd have to be play blasting this to see if there's much of a change. It might be something to do with the weight. I mean, it's looking fairly heavy, but anyway, I'm not going to get too wrapped up in that at the moment. What I do want to show you, which is lovely, is this. So if we scroll right the way down here, we've got oh, there's also preserve interior volume. Failure. Alright, so at the moment we're set to no failure, which I believe to be to do with tearing the cloth. So we've got delete failed triangles, and we've got subdivide and split. So I'm going with subdivide and split because that sounds insane. And then we've got the failure stretch number. So I'm guessing once you get to that number, anything above that is where we're going to get tearing. But we shall see. So let's drag that back in there. Let it compile. And we're good to go. Now something's happened here. We can see that we've got these different subdivisions going on. I've seen this quite a few different times in like destruction and that kind of thing, which is starting to make me think there might be some sort of destruction coming, but we'll see. Play. Oh, nice. How nice is that? That just worked like that. Oh, let's keep it going. Let's get wireframe and shaded on. Is that just going to slip off? There's another piece of geometry. Oh, there's a little bit of debris there. It's on its own now. That is epic. Oh, God. It's 3D porn, guys. For my guys. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. That's great. So, yeah, I recommend, rather than watching another 45 minutes of me going through loads of different settings, that I kind of leave it there, because you guys are just going to want to go off and play with this. And I believe that's what you should do. Let's just look at this for a second and just do a little dance. If anyone wants to get up and do a little dance now, feel free. I'd fully understand it. We could just create a little light because I just want to see how lovely this looks. I'm going to go with a area light, and just because I just want to see. I'm just in love, guys. So what we've covered this week is, yeah, we've done like, oh, we're smashing into it now. We've done strands. Don't ask me what we're going to use that for. It's all a bit mad. I created something mad out of that last night, but I think it's going to be used for something else. And now we've got cloth going as well. So we are opening doors fast and furious. That's interesting. Doesn't show up. Alright. Yes, I fixed it. What you do need to do is, and again, just figured this out as I was going, what you need to do is, if you've downloaded the Rebel pack, is to create a set mesh UVs, right? And then drag your mesh into the mesh, and your UV coordinates into UV coordinates. I'm not even sure you need that, but I just did it anyway. And then you can do an out mesh back into the simulation again. And then that will allow you to, well, potentially have textures if you texture it first. But anyway, it does allow you to render, which is great balls of fire. So here we go. I'm just going to maximize this for you guys. Allow you to see this graph in all its glory. If I just grab all this and hit L, you can have a look at how this is all made. And again, it's quite simple. Go to plane, set mesh UVs if you want to render it afterwards, into npm cloth, which goes down into simulate npm. And with simulate npm, you need npm solver settings. Then we've got collider for the two collision objects, and then we've got our Arnold surface into the assigned material, out cloth into geometry, and then out geometry into cloth mesh. And we're rolling. That is it. Look at that.